the Shockers, the Jayhawks. The big dance is here. This is Cake Sports Road to the Championship. Now here's Cake's Shane Ewing and Jake Schlegel.
KU and Wichita State fans, the wait is over. The madness is here. Welcome to the Road to the Championship. I'm Shane Ewing.
And I'm Jake Schlegel. We are gearing up for the big dance with a look at what will be an exciting week and possibly an historic week.
Yeah, possible matchup between Kansas and Wichita State is in play, but both the Shockers and Jayhawks are in the toughest bracket out there. This is the Midwest, and all roads to the Final Four could go through Kentucky, the top seed in the tournament. West Virginia in this bracket, getting a 5 seed against Buffalo, and Maryland as well. The Terps, they've already beaten Iowa State and Wisconsin, but lost to the Shockers' opponent, Jake.
That's the Indiana Hoosiers. They stumble into the NCAA tournament having lost 9 of 14, but they have beaten 4 ranked teams. Still, they say they're thrilled to get a 10 seed. You also see Notre Dame in the bracket, a popular Elite 8 or Final Four pick. So yes, this is stacked.
Yeah, especially with KU as the 2 seed. They should not have much trouble with New Mexico State. And if Wichita State avoids the 10-7 upset, we will see the one we've been waiting for. But the Shockers know in order to fight through this bracket, they'll have to do it as a 7 seed, as surprising as that may be to the college basketball world. The initial unveiling of Wichita State as a 7 seed was a shocker.
Wichita State, the Shockers, first team out of the Missouri Valley and a number 7 seed.
How in the world they're a 7 seed blows my mind, at 28-4.
But Greg Marshall had no intention of showing any sign of irritation.
Right now we're the number 12 ranked team in the country and we're a 7 seed, but that's just the way it is. We're glad to be a part.
While the Shockers may have been underestimated as a 7 seed, Indiana was just hoping to get into the tournament. The Hoosiers had lost 4 of their last 5 games, and an NIT berth was very possible. However,
who does Wichita State meet? The 3rd team out of the Big Ten, the Indiana Hoosiers.
I see a bubble team.
I was stunned. I'd be lying to say that I saw a 10 seed coming. I mean, honored to have it. We're grateful for it.
As the Hoosiers learned their fate, even they were intrigued by the idea of a Wichita State win.
It's all of a sudden, it's like there's Kansas, and then there's Wichita State, and I'm saying, wow, Wichita State could play Kansas in the second round. Whoa, there's Indiana. So it was just one of those deals.
The respect a program like Indiana commands landed them in a dogfight with the Shockers. And if the Shocks are to make it out of the Midwest region, they say they'd better get used to matching up with teams like this.
I do think our region's tough. We have 4 of the top 10 winningest college basketball programs in the history of college basketball, and we're not one of them.
Well, Jake, that 10-7 matchup can be tough, not to say Kansas doesn't have a tough matchup as well.
Yeah, there have been only 7 15-2 upsets in NCAA tournament history, so the Jayhawks should be all right. And if you know Bill Self, well, he'll have his guys ready to go against the upset-minded Aggies. New Mexico State's size helped them win the regular season and tournament title in the WAC. The Aggies thrived on the boards and in zone defense, but head coach Marvin Menzies says dealing with KU's bigs will be a sizable challenge.
I think we just got to go to war with them, mano a mano, and our guys have to approach it in a way where they understand, what their challenges are and stay fundamentally sound, get to the right spots offensively on the rebounding war, and try to get as many 50-50 balls as we can.
In what Menzies calls a game of matchups, the Jayhawks, if healthy, would appear to clearly have the upper hand.
The most important thing is try to get our bodies back fresh. And, Landon's really nicked up. Perry actually did very, very well, even though he's not close to being where he needs to be.
In a 2-15 matchup, it might be easy for the better team to overlook the weaker opponent.
This is not a good staff. They have a great staff. They will not allow their players to overlook us. They won't, they won't let their players get caught up into the hype or the predictions and looking forward to Wichita State. They'll have their guys prepared.
We need to win a 4-game tournament, 4-team tournament this weekend, and that'll be the same goal as of New Mexico State, and it'll be the same goal of Wichita State and Indiana, but it'll certainly be some pretty good ball. There's some good teams playing in our pod.
So there you have it. The Jayhawks, they had to start somewhere. The Shocks and Hawks have come a very long way.
Wichita State's 28-4. We follow their journey to the NCAA tournament next as we continue on here with Road to the Championship.
Welcome back to Cake Sports, the road to the championship.
Yeah, the Shockers enter the NCAA tournament as a 7 seed, but Greg Marshall reminded everyone earlier this week they were a 9 seed when they made the Final Four 2 years ago.
That's right, so don't count out this group with maybe the best backcourt in the country. Here's a look now at how the Shockers made it to Omaha. It all started on November 14th for the Shockers. Perfection in the rearview mirror.
Do you expect to win 35 in a row to begin the season? No.
But the same motto year after year.
The goal is to just win, and then win the next game, and then win the next game, but you take them one at a time.
The Shockers raced out to a 4-0 start before running into Utah, suffering their first regular season loss in 21 months.
We've got to play smarter.
But in order to get better, their 8 newcomers had to meld together.
Kelly. Kelly has given it a big time score.
Let's just say there's a chasm tonight from what I expect and what they delivered. A canyon, the Grand Canyon, I don't know, something like that. It's not even close to what we want.
But as the non-conference rolled along, the Shockers found more and more consistency.
Quincy Smith is rejected by Nurger. Kelly to clean it up.
Our depth is getting better.
When conference play began, it appeared that the Shockers would run away with the Valley.
Our RPI is around 10. We're ranked 16th in the country.
But after a loss in Cedar Falls, the Shockers could not afford another, chasing Northern Iowa in the standings.
I mean, those guys have been good all the other times we played them too, but I mean, tonight they're making shots.
Got to start another streak. The best team won today.
And on February 28th, it all came down to this.
Get ready for some championship basketball in the Valley.
Shockers and Panthers at Koch Arena, game day in town for the crown.
I tell my players that we're recruiting, and the players in the program, that if they come play for us, they have to know their ring size, and they can't be afraid of heights because they have to get up on that ladder and cut the nets down.
The swarm of gray shirts grabs it away. How about that leak out? Look out! The Shockers are on top of the Valley.
I wasn't thinking about the conference tournament. I wasn't thinking about seeding in the brackets. I was thinking about what a wonderful experience we all got to share today.
So that is how the Shockers got here, and now here they are, 5.5-point favorites over a blue blood like Indiana.
Meanwhile, KU, 11.5-point favorites. We'll take a look back at the Jayhawks season and show you how they ended up in Omaha. That's after the break, when the road to the championship continues.
Welcome back to Cake Sports, the road to the championship.
Yes, we are shifting our focus now to the Jayhawks and take a look back at how they got here.
That's right, Rachel Kilmer shows us their path to a 2 seed.
KU's season started the same way as it has nearly every year under Bill Self, with high expectations.
But I guarantee you, after you leave here tonight, you're going to think this team has a real chance.
KU opened the season with a win over UC Santa Barbara before being demolished by Kentucky in the Champions Classic.
I was hoping that was vodka, but no, it's just water.
The Jayhawks then reeled off 8 non-conference wins before losing a stunner at Temple.
You know, losses suck, unless you obviously learn from them and get better from them.
And then the hunt for the 11th straight Big 12 title began.
Graham, the alley-oop. Wow! Ellis. Beautiful long pass. Another one. Takes a factor again. There he goes again with the tip. Oh,
With victories over 4 out of 5 ranked teams in a matter of 2 weeks, the Jayhawks again had the attention of the nation, with its leader coming to Lawrence.
It is January, so that means that the Jayhawks are at the top of the Big 12, hunting for your 11th straight conference title.
But the conference race was tight. Kansas avoided losing control of first place with Big Monday revenge over Iowa State.
We did a lot of good things tonight. We got to take those good things and keep it moving.
And at home, they did. But struggled on the road, losing 3 of 4 with a court-storming surprise in the Sunflower Showdown.
You storm the court, you run in, you bump everybody, stuff like that. This has got to stop.
Despite the loss, the Jayhawks did not stop and gave themselves a chance to clinch number 11 at Allen Fieldhouse.
Kansas ramping up the pressure themselves, and Selden steals it away from Holtman. Gets his own miss. Now gets closer. It's a blocking foul. And counts the basket.
We definitely wanted to finish the night, cut down the nets.
I mean, we've had a real good season. In order to make it a great season, we got to do good in the tournament.
Yeah, thanks to Rachel Kilmer there. As we know, the Jayhawks' last game was in Kansas City.
That's right. KU fell to Iowa State in the Big 12 tournament finals, and Rachel was there as well. She caught up with the Ellis family.
And it was no small task to do so either, because as Rachel tells us, they had 2 places to be at once.
Now Mason, lob Ellis.
For as long as Perry Ellis has played basketball, his parents have been watching. It's been that way for the entire Ellis family.
It means a lot, you know. They're real supportive, and they really care. They want to see me getting well and doing my best, you know. So I mean, it's really helped me mentally.
Ellis's first shot since his return. He nails it.
But with so much success comes one big problem. While Perry's Jayhawks played in the Big 12 tournament, younger brother Cameron was in Topeka, with Wichita Heights searching for a state title.
I know it's tough, you know, going back and forth, you know, figuring out who's going to go to whose game, you know.
One of us had to go to Cameron's game and one of us had to go to Perry's game.
It's not the first time they've had this problem.
Last year they came in 3rd place last year, but yeah, we had the same problem last year.
This year they both made it to the finals, so we had to take turns.
With one parent at each son's game throughout the tournaments, it's a problem that made its way to the Big 12 broadcast.
Mom Fonda is here watching Perry. Dad Will is back in Topeka supporting Cameron, so both brothers with a championship on the line tonight.
It doesn't happen for many people, you know. It's good for our family, you know.
With his father looking on, but his mother and siblings in Kansas City, Cameron got his piece of the family legacy. And after KU's loss to Iowa State, Perry's consolation came through Cameron.
I'm happy, you know, my brother's senior year, getting that championship. You know, I'm real happy for him, you know, and it's just great that he got the win.
But the greatest prize for the Ellis family isn't something they can add to the trophy case.
I'm happy, proud of both of them. Both doing well. It's a great feeling.
Thanks to Rachel again and the Ellis family, who may get to see their son Perry square off against his former teammate at Wichita Heights, Evan Wessel. That's if both KU and Wichita State win their opening games. Perry and Evan won 3 state titles together with the Falcons from 2008 to 2011. Then there's Wichita native Connor Frankamp, who transferred from Kansas to Wichita State this past December.
Yeah, if that's a problem to have, it's a pretty good problem to have for the Ellises. We do appreciate their time. And there's so much interesting points about the possible matchup between KU and Wichita State that would go down on Sunday if they can win. Up next, we take a closer look at how big this game would be.
We'll hear from Bill Self and Greg Marshall and get their takes on the potential matchup next as the road to the championship continues.
Welcome back to Cake Sports, the road to the championship.
Hey, the statisticians at 538.com use their advanced metrics to give Wichita State a 72% chance of moving on, while KU gets a 91% chance. Jake, you cannot argue with science. It looks like this thing might happen.
That's right, and if it does, it will be the first time Kansas and Wichita State have met since 1993. The Jayhawks won that game 103-54, but the last time they were in the NCAA tournament, a much different story. Wichita State was a 6 seed. KU was a 7. The Shockers won that game in a total thriller, a 1-point battle in New Orleans, 66-65. WSU would eventually fall to LSU in the Elite Eight.
And just like the last time these teams played, KU and Wichita State seem to be very evenly matched, at least on paper. So don't let the seeding fool you. Bill Self isn't fooled.
How in the world they're a 7 seed blows my mind. At 28-4. So I thought the Missouri Valley, to be honest, probably deserved a little bit more credit than what they got, because I think they were not seeded. I thought they'd be a higher seed.
If we're fortunate enough to play in the 3rd round, then if it's Kansas or New Mexico State, we get ready to play them. Take it one game at a time.
Yeah, I don't think those coaches are going to give us anything unless the game actually happens, unless both teams win in advance.
And we certainly haven't seen that matchup in quite a while, Shane.
Yeah, back in 1981, the team that eventually won that national championship when the Shocks were bounced, it was Indiana. They have 5 total championships.
Wichita State still searching for number 1, and if they get it, it will have to do with the play of number 31, Ron Baker.
Yeah, we'll show you how the Scott City native may not have won a title in St. Louis, but that does not mean he didn't do some celebrating this week. That's next on the road to the championship.
Welcome back to Cake Sports, the road to the championship.
Welcome back. Earlier we looked at the bond between the Ellis brothers.
Yeah, but while Perry could not watch his brother Cameron play in the 5A state championship game, Wichita State's Ron Baker was able to be in the stands as his brother Sloan went for the title. The sense of family is never lost on Ron Baker. Support the person, support the team, and you're in.
Koch Arena is filled with families. It's a family environment. I just felt like someone needed to be a part of something special.
But nobody other than Sloan Baker can call Ron his brother. And there was no missing the 3A title game for the Shocker guard. As Scott City faced Wichita Collegiate, Sloan showed the Baker motor is a birthright, a non-stop attack in the image of number 31. After all, there was already one senior year state title in the Baker household, thanks to a last-second shot by Ron.
Well, Baker's done that all night long. He is so quick, and right back up with it at the buzzer. Scott City, the winner, 55-53. What a game.
4 years later, the senior celebration belonged to Sloan, a recurring dream come true.
In the hotel, I woke up 5 or 6 times, and we had won, and I was just like, gosh, dang it, is it game time? Nope, I'm still in bed, but I looked back and I was like, we're not in bed no more. It's real life.
A 12-point win in 2015, not in need of 2011's heroics.
We won by 12, he won by a last-second shot, so I guess I had some stickbacks that weren't last-second shots, so I guess we got something to hold over him.
Yeah, it's nice to see him win by 12. I was telling my dad I know how he feels about 3 years ago when we were in this situation, so it's good to see him win by a comfortable margin. Really proud of my brother and their team, so hopefully they can have as much fun as I did with this situation.
Congratulations to Scott City, to the Bakers. Now I wonder if Sloan will be in the stands in Omaha. One thing we know, we will be in Omaha. Jake and myself will be joined by Rachel Kilmer as we head north for the long drive. CenturyLink Center awaits as we provide your Shocker and Jayhawk coverage throughout the week. Before we go, Jake, your key to the game.
I'm going to say rebounding and defense. Indiana only ranks 294th in the nation. I like the Shockers.
Yeah, they can't D up, but they can shoot the ball. They shoot the three-point shot very well, 8th in the country, so it depends on how Wichita State can stop that three-point shooting from the candy stripes of the Indiana Hoosiers. We want to say thank you so much for watching The Road to the Championship. For Jake Schlegel and Rachel Kilmer, I'm Shane Ewing. Good night.